So that's where I would ask those. Then, when we go still lower, we get into the abdominal region. Let me see, this is twisted around, so let me see if I can get this oriented in a way that will show these next things. Yeah, because a lot of connective tissue is removed there. So also, I don't have an intact cadaver. So that shows well, and I used to be able to show that in the cadaver, but no longer, so we use a model machine. So on a quiz, I can also show them in that illustration, which I have in the show as well. So that's also quiz legal. Okay, that's this side. Somehow this got twisted around because this is ventral over here. And so let's see if I can get this untwisted.
Zoom in.
Somehow
I already am.
this got twisted around the kidney. So there we go. There's a very interesting thing over here that I want to point out. This is ventral. Here we go.
How do you eat after this?
This is really twisted around. This stuff is ventral. So let me see if I can somehow get this entangled. It's a good idea not to let anybody take out your heart and aorta and put it in a barrel, because things can get twisted around. See, this. I almost have it.
It's like untangling a ball of yarn.
I think someone stole it. What are we looking for? What are you pulling our hair?
This stuff is coming or ventral.
Getting all my dead.
So it's maybe if I go this way, get this back so that's ventral. So what I'm going to do is get that to come more ventral.
Ew!
Okay, so now here we go. This is ventral.
She done.
See what happens here. Okay, there. I'll put this over here.
Oh, she put on glasses.
There we go.
Look at the size
Okay,
of
I
this
got
dude.
it. I got it.
It's one. For somebody who couldn't even get around.
Yeah, look at that smile. I broke a bone. That's why it bothers me most. This doesn't look like a person.
It looks like
I've never
tentacles.
seen my heart. So
Octopus.
Okay, so look at this. Take a look at this.
It's alive. It's alive.
Now, get close enough to see this, and I want you to terminate this conversation in class.
That looks familiar.
Here we have the abdominal portion of the descending aorta. Now, in sequence, terminate this conversation, please. With the dorsal intercostal arteries, there are lumbar arteries, which supply back muscles and vertebrae and things of that sort. And I will show those in the torso model also. Those are bilateral, and there are also renal arteries and veins. Here's a kidney on the half shell. Here's another kidney.
Are those kidney, they shrunk?
No.
No,
That's the real size of them?
Yeah.
Really?
They vary a lot in size when I take out my barrel of kidneys, human kidneys.
Barrel?
You'll see substantial variation inside.
Have you ever been arrested?
So,
Either slice.
Sliced, right?
yes, these were cut open in a coronal plane, essentially. So,
They can't be that
to show
big.
internal structures. I have others that are cut this way, in which there isn't so much oxidation, so you can see the color difference between cortex and medulla, as well as some other specimens. So I'm not
Yes,
going to ask internal
I think.
kidney structure on these. I'm going to ask him on that on my separate kidney.
What is that you have next to the kidney?
What?
On your left.
Closest to you?
This?
Yeah, what
I'm
is
going to
that?
go over that right now. So
Okay.
now, just note this, and these will be on the exam. There are three non-bilateral vessels that come off the ventral surface of the abdominal portion of the descending aorta. And these are the celiac artery, the superior mesenteric artery, and the inferior mesenteric artery. So here we have where the celiac artery comes off. Let's see where that third one is located. I see it. Okay. It's that. There's that one. Where did that one go? I hope it didn't break off. I have two of the three branches visible right now. And the last time I used this, oh, there it is, and that's it. Okay, so take a look at this. Control yourself, terminate the conversation. Okay, so here, take a look at this. The celiac artery is a very short vessel. It has two branches heading toward the left and one branch toward the right. This one was heading for the spleen. Actually, I have the spleen in the barrel, so I can rummage around down in that fluid to get the spleen and take that out. Put the spleen right over there.
Bert wants to see the spleen.
That's the splenic artery. Then here, this one,
The little short one?
yes. No, it was longer in life.
Yeah.
Now, the stomach is on the left, unless there's reversal of symmetry in this area. So the stomach has a greater curvature, which is convex toward the left. I'm going to show this on separate materials. I have this by system, so there's another dissection that shows principally digestive and things like that we'll take out of a different barrel. So here is the other branch that goes to the left. It goes to the lesser curvature of the stomach, which is located right over here. And that's called the left gastric artery. And then here, going toward the right, toward the liver, is the common hepatic artery. So those are the three branches of the celiac. You also have to be able to identify these in section in Bio 10. I have sectional views that show these as well. Okay. And then, coming off next, usually separately from the celiac, but sometimes via a common trunk, there is the superior mesenteric artery, which amongst other things supplies the small intestine. So here's a portion of the small intestine.
Oh.
And you see, this branch is to give rise to, see those in there? Those dark entities that, because there's blood clotted in them, those are called intestinal or mesenteric arteries. So I saved a little bit of the small intestine here. And then a branch of this also goes to supply the vermiform appendix, the cecum, the ascending colon, and the transverse colon. Now, the descending colon is supplied by a separate vessel which comes off over here. That's called the inferior mesenteric artery. Supplies the descending colon, the sigmoid colon, as a branch going to the rectum as well. Okay, so that is that one. So I will ask these on this. Okay. Then this is also one on which I can ask lungs, although I have others for the lungs as well. So here we have, which one? This? Yeah, this is the left lung. Yeah, which has two lobes, an inferior lobe and a superior lobe, separated by an oblique fissure. And then here's the fairly typical right lung with an inferior lobe, an intermediate lobe, and a superior lobe.
What's that white stuff in between the lobes?
That is connective tissue.
Oh.
It's a little spare piece.
Yes, that's right. So now both lungs have an oblique fissure, which separates the inferior lobe from whatever's above it. Now, whatever's above it on the left side is just one lobe, a superior lobe. Whatever's above it on the right side is two lobes, an intermediate or middle lobe and a superior lobe. And then the intermediate or middle lobe and the superior lobe are separated from one another by another fissure, not present on the left side, which is called the horizontal or transverse fissure. And then these also show in sections, so these are going to turn up on quizzes in Bio 10, but as they look in sections. And then also in simulations of whole body sections for a big example. So then also I have this over here. What might that be?
Don't hit that button.
That's the trachea.
That's a trachea.
Yeah.
That's a trachea.
You see those bands in it? Those are the tracheal cartilages. And then what might this be?
Yeah, that's the Adam's apple.
Oh, this is the thyroid cartilage of the larynx. And then I can feel, but it doesn't show so well on this one, the cricoid cartilage. I have another specimen, though, that we'll take out one that's specifically for these things. That will show that one as well. And now, from which sex? Yeah, how do you know that? Yeah, no Adam's apple. But I've got one with an Adam's apple. So if you're just guessing, your chances are 0.5, but you should do better than that. So the specimen from the male has one of the largest laryngeal prominences you'll ever see. It's what's conventionally called the Adam's apple. Now, what's this U-shaped thing over here?
That's the point.
Yeah, the hyoid bone. The hyoid bone. Right here. The hyoid bone.
That's the weird one.
Now, what is this thing over here?
Epiglottis.
Yeah, the epiglottis. That's correct.
That is my favorite.
Now, what is this? You should know what the aperture between the vocal folds is called. It has a two-word name. The first word begins with an R, and the second word begins with a G. R-I. This was a required item on a Bio 8 exam. R-I. R-I-M.
I don't know.
R-I-M-A. That's it. Rima. Yeah, rima. And then the second word is glottitis. The rhinoglottitis is not a structure, it's a space between the vocal folds. So during swallowing, it's closed by adduction of the vocal folds. During speech or a heavy exercise, it's open to varying degrees. Just a little for speech, but much more during heavy exercise. Okay? Yes.
She's done.
Oh, yes, so now don't put it on the table.